I wanted to talk a little bit about saving seeds, but more than that, I wanted to talk about letting the plants express their full cycle. So right here is the orich, and it has all these little seeds all over it. And it's just beautiful to watch it grow from a tiny little seedling to this tall bush. I don't know, you could call it a bush, and produce these thousands of seeds all over it. Here's some parsley seeds coming along nicely. I'm not a market gardener. I don't do this commercially. Of course, I like to get a harvest and I like to eat some food of things that I grow, but I'm more of a explorational gardener. I like to learn from the garden, watch the garden grow. Watch the plants express themselves and learn from that. So if you're constantly ripping out your plants before they even put out flowers, or as soon as they put out flowers, or when they start to go to seed, I feel like you really miss out on one of the most beautiful aspects of gardening. This feverfew here is just the flowers go and then they sort of die off and they spread their seed and it just self-sows. It's sort of a lazy way to garden. You know, let the plants figure out where they grow best on their own. Let them do their thing. Of course, I don't just do that. I have a lot of starts and a lot of seed sowing that I do. You know, I don't let everything go to seed, but I like to have interspersed different stages of plants, baby plants, middle-aged plants, and old-age plants reproducing. Look at this artichoke once it goes into flower. I could have eaten that artichoke, and I ate quite a few artichokes this year. But it's nice to leave a few just to look at, express themselves. Now there's a pea drying out on the vine. Will hopefully give me a harvest of peas next season. Growing on the same trellis though is these scarlet runner beans, these red flowers. The hummingbirds love them. And the beans, well, they make these big old beans. I just really appreciate having the old and the new growing side by side. The dying mixed with new life, and the seeds for new life for next year. This dill weed over here, it's about 8 feet tall or so. They just put out these gorgeous flowers. I mean, I could take these out and make space for something else, have something else growing that's going to give me a harvest sooner. And I mean, dill seed is not expensive. It's common, not hard to find, but the sight of a dill plant in bloom, can't buy that. You gotta grow it. And you gotta let it keep growing. There's some radish seeds forming. Some radish flowers. The ever-loving borage flower. You plant borage in your yard one time, and you'll probably always have it. But that's not a bad thing. It hops around from one spot in your yard to the next. It's easy to pull out if you don't want it in a certain spot. But I have a hard time pulling it up because it's just so pretty. The flowers are tasty as well. And the pollinators love them. The nasturtiums grew back from last year. I think the seeds dropped here and there and everywhere, and some of them sprouted and growing again. It's an oregano flower forming seeds with the lavender, intermixed with the lavender. Little Mediterranean haven. Even this collard green here. I could have pulled that out, eaten it, put something else in there, but look at those flowers. Right here, I'm going to show you, see if I can get it. There's a wasp built a nest. There's a rotting log here. And they're just busy, coming in and out all day long. Sun up to sundown. There's the wasps. Every gardener who grows food loves to reap the bounty of their own harvest and eat what they grew and know that it tastes better just because you grew it. But to me, the quantity is not nearly as important as the process of growing. And sometimes you get food out of it, and sometimes you get seeds out of it. Sometimes you get flowers out of it. And being a part of the interaction of all these beings growing, the flowers, the plants, the insects, the pollinators, all interacting with each other. And the babies. Wait, are you a toddler?
Yeah.
Oh. So if you're like me and you never got succession planting down, always missed the window of when you were supposed to seed and when you were supposed to plant out, you had empty spaces in your garden, don't worry about it. Just enjoy your plants, let them go to seed and enjoy their full potential.